Well, thank you to attending the webinar. I think that we can start it. The webinar of today, it's your BPM workflow design and execution environment. It's also related with the workflow engine component that is part of the CloudSocket. I'm Joaquín Iranzo Yuste. I'm a software engineer at Atos, and also I have the technical responsible in CloudSocket. You can see here my picture. Before to start the webinar, just only give you some indications in order to work in this webinar. All the microphones are muted, so if you want to ask any question or if you have any doubt, you can type this in the chat windows, as you can see here in the picture. So let's start. The agenda for this webinar are composed by the introduction of the CloudSocket. The idea is to explain you more or less the main topics and ideas in order to understand better the demo and what is the workflow engine that we want to explain you. We can follow to the YourBPM, that it is the workflow engine inside the architecture of the CloudSocket, and we can enter in detail with what is this solution. We will focus on the design phase and the execution phase. We will see there are different phases inside the project, and also I think that it is very interesting what are the references that you have it in order to use it and to work with this component. And finally, we will. The idea is to provide a short demo, and you will see in a real demonstration that all is working and you can use it if you want. And finally, we will finish with the question and answers that we can spend what you need in order to answer your questions. So let's start. As you know, your VPN has been integrated inside the architecture or inside the project of the CloudSocket. Here there is the link that you can see more details. Here in the project you have it, what is the project vision of the project in details. So you can see here all the data that you need in order to understand better CloudSocket. Nevertheless, I would like to introduce some concepts and some points that I think that allow us to understand better this demo and this webinar. What is the challenge? For the business process, of course, at the end, the companies want to use business process in order to improve the productivity, to automatize process and so on. So they need requirements that they can provide as we can do it for a long time. What is the challenge here is how we can move this or how we can bring this business process into the cloud, because at the end it's not a simple task. We have it a different approach, we have it a different functionalities. The main that we can manage this process are different than the typical or the classical business process definition. So what CloudSocket provides is this smart connection between the business requirements that we have it and how we can move it to the cloud offering that we have in order to take advantage of this situation. Of course, to provide this, we have covering the business process lifecycle that we have it, but adapted to this cloud approach that we have commented. So here you can see that this is the architecture, but this is not the objective of this webinar to enter in detail in the architecture, but nevertheless we can use it in order to explain what are the different phases that we have it. You can see before we have it a design phase that it is covered by this environment, the design environment, and it is responsible to create the business process at high level, to understand what is the requirements, what are the necessity of the customers in order to provide this business process, but also it's responsible to create the executable workflows associated to the business process. We will see there is a gap between the the two skills that we will see in the next slides. But at the end, they provide all the workflows and the business process that we need in order to be deployed in the cloud. But in order to allow to move this business process to the cloud, we need to enter in the allocation phase that it is covered by this allocation environment. Why? Because we need to indicate what are the resources that we want to use it. If we want to use Amazon, if we want to use cloud, another IaaS or another PaaS, what will be the service level agreement in order to follow automating the service, or for example, to deploy software components in order to have it your own infrastructure and to use the virtual machines. When they have finished the allocation phase, we are ready to have it the BPaaS bundle. This is another concept that we have introduced here. The BPaaS bundle is the composition of the BPaaS design package plus all the data that you need in order to be deployed in the cloud. But of course, we need to publish this in somewhere, and we have included here in the execution environment the marketplace that it is the responsible to allow to the brokers that are building this, construct this BPaaS bundle to be to expose the portfolio of these brokers to the customers that they want to use it. So at the end, the marketplace is the front end for the customers they want to use this BPaaS bundle. When the customers buy this BPaaS bundle, of course, it is deployed using the execution environment and this middleware in order to be up and running and to be available for these customers. And finally, to close the feedback, we have it the evaluation environment that are responsible to analyze all the data that we have collected during the execution and the deployment for this BPaaS bundle and to provide the feedback to the brokers in order to improve the business process or to identify new business process that they can to include it in the portfolio. Nevertheless, this webinar is related with the workflow engine. So where is the workflow engine? For one side is associated to the design environment. You can see here. On the other side, you can see that it is also involved in the middleware that has part of the execution environment. Another concept that I think that it is very interesting is we have now commented in the presentation of the different phases that we have two main perspectives in the project. For one side, we have the broker that are responsible to create this BPaaS bundle and to increase the portfolio and to cover the necessity of the potential customers. So at the end, they are using these environments and all the steps that they need in order to create and to publish the new BPaaS bundles. On the other side, we have the customers. The customers are companies that they want to take advantage of these BPaaS bundles that we have exposed in the marketplace in order to use it and to take the added value that they can provide for the companies. If you click here, well, this is the more detail what you have here, what are the two different scenarios, and also what are the videos and more in detail the different steps that we have it. We go on. So what is YourBPM? The solution of this software component for this component is that the YourBPM is an open and multi-platform solution to design process based on the BPM standards. Of course, based on the software architecture, service-oriented architecture. So it is scalable, all the characteristics that this kind of architecture can provide.
Die Sprachübertragung beginnt jetzt. Alle Teilnehmer befinden sich im Zuhörermodus.
So we have integrated the different types of repository in order to identify what are the best services that we can cover for to identify what are the services that we can integrate it inside the workflows, so we can use it third parties in order to use this advantage. And we can also have suggestion for the most appropriate service. We have two approaches here. The keyword approach that they is give me what I say. It is not too smart, to be honest, but it is for the moment that we have focused on this in order to increase the functionalities. But on the other side, we will see also in the future functionalities is the semantic approach. I think it's it's more interesting in the sense that they say, give me what I want, and they suggest the most matchmaking service based on this semantic that we have provided. So it's more intelligent, and I think it's very, very interesting. We will see. Of course, we have automatic generation of the business process in order to be executable. In this case, we can reduce the human intervention, errors, and costs. We have commented it is based in the different standards, and it is open source. The license is Apache 2. Also allows business process portability because we are based on these standards, so we can move for different execution engines, and we can maintain this portability in the sense that we are using the standards. And of course, they support business process lifecycle as a service. So they can use different tenants, the same instance, and we can work together. What are the technical added value? So YourBPM simplify the orchestration. We try to reduce costs, to reduce the learning, how we can provide new workflows and so on. So at the end, we reduce costs and we increase the benefit. YourBPM can be also integrated with other solutions, commercial or not. We have done here in CloudSocket. We have integrated the component with different components because it is the architecture is service-oriented. It is based in Activiti, that it is a standardized BPM engine that allows us the creation of the compositions that can be supported by different engines. As again, it's the interoperability because the Activiti is completely BPM standard and it is aligned, so it's perfect for us to work with Activiti. And well, here there are the technologies that we have commented. There are alternative solutions. Several BPMs, like you can see here the different business process that we have it, open source or not, but there is the different workflow engine that they have in the market. So if you remember, we have identified two phases that we have the workflow engine inside the project, and now we are entering the design phase. Here is the architecture for this design phase. If you remember, the design environment is not the objective of this webinar to enter in detail. There are other webinars that explain better, that explain very well what is the different components that compose this design environment. Nevertheless, I would like to remark that the executable workflow is here, and it is communicated with the business process components in order to export and import the BPM following the BPM standard. But what it is more important, here appear two skills. One is the business analysis and another is the service integrator. As you see here in the picture, they are completely different. The skills are, the approach is different. They are talking different vocabulary. They are talking at different levels. Time to time is complicated to work together. So at the end, what we want to do here, apart of the create the workflows, that's clear that it is the main objective, is to reduce costs and to optimize this work. What happened now? That at the end, they need to talk together, send an email, conference calls, or what they need in order to increase the communication between the both skills. We will see that in order to reduce this, we can use the semantic, and I think it will be in the next steps. We will focus on this, and you will see now in the next slides. Before this, I would like to also to remark what are the characteristics of YourBPM inside the design phase. So we have it a web collaborative process modeling integrated, ETSAT and approximate dynamic discovery, semi-automatic late binding. We can also automate the data flow generation for web service. We automate executable BPM generation in order to reduce the code and the time that you need in order to create the workflows. So for example, here, the demo is not focused in this phase, it's focused in the execution environment. Nevertheless, I would like to show you some screenshots and to explain what are the different characteristics that you can see in the component online. For example, here you can see that this is the BPM that generate if you cannot introduce automatically the code. So the integrator need to provide all these tags in order to be executable. With this component, we can generate automatically all of this, just only need to identify what are the web services that we have it and to bind this with the service that it should be aligned. How we can do this? We are using the discovery. For one side, we have it the design tool, that it is the web page that where the technical people introduce the workflow technically. And we have at the moment the repository manager, that it is a repository manager that we can describe the different resources that we have it, but keyword values, not semantically. And we have the searching repository. So we can find inside this repository what are the different services that we can use in order to map or to bind this service task that is inside this workflow. And of course, at the end, you can see here the different methods that describe this service in order to bind this method with this service task. Well, what is coming now? What is so we want to automatize more the REST integration because the generation of the code is based on the web service. So we want to push this REST integration. And what is more important, we want to include the semantic approach. Until now, we have realized that the semantic is very useful, and I think it's very powerful, but we need to reduce the complexity. And the components that arrive for the research package inside the CloudSocket are very interesting to be included in YourBPM in order to be aligned and to include this annotation and to use the same ontologies and to register the process annotation and the service description to reduce this gap between the BPAS modeling and the workflows, the executable workflows that we have it. It has been described in the previous webinar. I recommend you to see the previous webinar, that it is also in the channel. And we can move to the execution phase. Again, you can see here that it is more complex than the previous one, but there are a lot of components that it is not the objective, again, in this webinar to enter in detail. You have the information. And just only to remark that the workflow engine is in this part, that we are collaborating with adaptation, with SLA, with the monitoring, with the cloud provider engine, and so on. What are the features here? We have the execution of the business process through the graphical user interface and an interface to expose this. We cover also multi-tenant. We will see in the demo. The integration with the identity managers. We can also see that we have integrated with the identity manager that align the marketplace with also with the workflow engine. We have it integration with dynamic deployments, at cloud environments. That means that at the end of the deployment, the workflow realize what is the real endpoint that we want to use in this execution. And of course, in order to provide this, we have integrated with the cloud provider engine that manage all the deployment in the cloud, and the monitoring engine in order to provide more metrics that they need in order to evaluate the scenario. What is coming? Again, here we have several issues that we are introducing. One is the integration with the SLA engine to introduce the agreements or the service level agreement to maintain the quality of the service. Also the adaptation, of course. So if you want to maintain the quality of the service, we need to adapt on the fly the endpoints that we are using in order to maintain the quality. Again, we need the continuous integration with the cloud provider engine, monitoring in order to achieve the previous features. Increase the quality experience of the users. We want to increase the use of the token, the use of the workflows. Well, I mean that at the end, the experience of the user is one of the most important things in the component. And finally, provide better metrics to be used at the evaluation phase and to take advance and to provide a better analysis for the brokers in order to analyze the system. So to finalize, I would like to also to indicate or to show you the reference before to move to the demo. So clear you can see that it is the workflow engine, that it is YourBPM, and here you can see the real instance that we have it, what is the download engine, the parser that are subcomponents inside this component, and the documentation. So here you can find all that you need in order to enter more in detail. So I think that it's time to go to the demo. Using all the concepts that we have introduced, we will start with the marketplace. I mean that at the end we want to focus this demo in the BPaaS customer perspective. So if you click here in the marketplace, you can see, of course, it's not the intention of this webinar to enter in detail of all the functionalities of the marketplace. We are a customer that they want to use a BPaaS bundle. So we can click here, the send invoice. Well, before, I think that, well, here you can see that it is the business process. This is the workflow associated, and the gap that we have commented before is the gap between the business process and the workflow in order to increase this, to reduce the cost. But at the end, the customer does only see what are the details, what are the SLA that we are working on this, the workflow and the business process. Of course, if they want to add to the, well, they can add to the cart, but before we need to identify the user in order to know who is. Let me introduce the user. Okay, again, and the password. So now we have entered in the marketplace with my user, and now we can say, okay, this is the business process that I want to use. It's the send invoice SaaS, to send an invoice as software as a service. I can add to the cart, okay. So now we can go here. We see that there is the shopping cart, and we want to check out. There are different methods to payment, in this case PayPal, okay, and we can order the new bundle. Okay, so what say here? Okay, I say successful register, the deployment has started. Of course, we need to execute all the steps that we have commented. So we will receive an email, and soon receive an email that it is well deployed. Meanwhile, we receive this email. It's 1 or 2 minutes, no more. So I would like to show you what we are doing now. We have entered in the marketplace. Of course, we have purchased this bundle. Now enter in action the execution environment. You can see here that the cloud provider engine is the orchestrator in order to deploy this in the cloud. They can manage the deployment in IaaS, with virtual machine, also PaaS, that is not here in this picture, but we can also cover, and the SaaS. What is important for the workflow engine? That at the end, the cloud provider engine needs to indicate it to the workflow engine what is the real endpoint in order to be used in the execution of this BPaaS bundle. At the end of this, it is deployed and it is up and running to be used. So the user will receive an email to saying that it is installed, and now they can use it. Click here in the link and they can use it. But what is this BPaaS bundle sending invoice as software as a service? In this case, this is the first BPaaS bundle that we have provided for the brokers. We have combined the Microsoft Dynamics CRM with the Invoice Ninja, that it is a system to manage the invoices. And of course, the BPaaS bundle manage all of these steps we will see in the demo through the component, the workflow. And of course, they introduce roles involved in this send invoice. So this is not only, the objective of this is not to substitute the functionalities on the Invoice Ninja or the Microsoft Dynamics. No, the idea is that they can complement the two services and to provide added value, but they can also introduce roles in order to increase the functionalities that we have it if you are only working with one of the services isolated. For example, here we have it the account department and also the supervisor, in the sense that the account department can create different invoices, and only the invoices that you have created that the supervisor can validate it will be sent it, and not the rest. Or what is more, we can also introduce another department that has not control or they cannot access to the Invoice Ninja. For example, the sales department. They can create it invoices without to enter in the Invoice Ninja, and the account department can supervise what are the invoices that are correct or not. So you will see now. So let me check it if it is we have received the, yes, here we have it. You can see here now you have it here, the CloudSocket execution environment. It's here. So what say here that thank you for pushing through CloudSocket Marketplace, have your great experience, and you have the send invoice as is installed. Perfect. So we are going to click here, and what's the problem? Let me see. I don't know why it's now. So now they are asking about the identity as we have done in the marketplace. So the user is the same. So you can use here, log in, and go to enter the password. And now you enter in the workflow engine. As you see here, the user is the same. It is when the first time that the user enters in the system, it's automatically created because we delegate the authentication to the IDM. So we identify the user and it is not created in the database. We are creating automatically also the tenant, the company associated, and so on. What we have it here, you can see that it is multi-tenant. So you can see here only the service that we have it. Well, we have it two more, but what it is now 4 minutes it's deployed, 4 minutes ago. Here you can see here is the SaaS invoice, the send invoice SaaS that we have purchased in the marketplace. But before to enter in detail in the workflow, I will very quickly to show you that here the user or the customer in this case is the administrator, so they can manage what are the different users that can manage or can use this workflow. In this case, for example, it's my colleague Roman, and we can say that it is an account department, so they will receive all the tasks that that will be associated to the account department. But Joaquin, that I myself, that it is the accounting, but also the supervisor. So we will receive both. What we have in here also that we don't want to enter now in detail is that we need the tokens in order to be identifying the Ninja invoice and the CRM. We will see now. Okay. So here you can see the CRM Microsoft and what is the token and the Ninja invoice. Let's go to the process. So here you have it, the deployment of this process. You have it here what are the different steps that do you have it, automatics, manual, and so on, and they start the process. So now it's initiated, and you go to the invoice. You can see here that the accounting department has one message. So enter here. You can see, of course, you can reassign this yourself, or maybe you can assign to Roman. It depends what you want to do. In this case, I want to assign myself. This is a step that it is not mandatory in the sense that that it is a demo, but I would like to show you that these tokens, okay, are the same that we have it in the administrator, if you remember, the Invoice Ninja and the Microsoft CRM. So here they are using the tokens that you have defined for your company inside the workflow engine. So now we are complete the task. Meanwhile, I would like also to show you here that we have it. For the other side, we have it the Invoice Ninja. Okay, so here you will see, let me, no, this one is not, is my, sorry. It is mine. Here, okay. Well, here this task has been deployed, I executed, so now we have it here. We have it here, the list of the customers that you want to create, to associate this task. But these customers are collected directly from the CRM, that we have it here, the CRM. So they, okay, let me identify in the CRM, just a second. This is the user that we have it for the CRM. So you can see here that the accounts that we have it in the sales department, that it is Atos and BBCom, you have it, sorry, this one, no, this one, okay, here, exactly, Atos and BBCom, okay? So now we have collected automatically all the customers that we have it in the CRM, and to show here to the account department in order to start to create the invoice. So what we can do now is we can select this and we can say, okay, complete the task. I want to create a new invoice for the Atos. You can see now that they say that there are no draft invoice for this client Atos. If we go to the Invoice Ninja, here, now yes, you will see that there are not invoices in the system for the moment. Okay. So what they are saying that you don't have any invoice here. What the system also provides is when you create the new, when you collect the client from the CRM, automatically is created here in the Invoice Ninja. So you can use the accounts that you have it in the CRM to move it to the Invoice Ninja system. So here now we are saying, okay, but it is new one because we don't have any pending invoices. So please complete the task. Now, again, you have it here, what is the invoice. So let's go to create the new invoice, book, whatever, and I want 100. But I want another product that will be book 2 with the notes. It's expensive, I'm cheaper, and only 12. Okay, so now we have this new invoice here, and you complete the task. If you go to the Invoice Ninja, you will see now that the invoice has been created automatically, and it should be now validated. Who do this? The validator. So now the validator will review the invoice. They say, okay, this is a book, and the expensive is whatever, and is the invoice is correct. Okay, it's correct. Complete the task. So now it's completely, the task is completely, and you can see now that you will receive an email to send it that you have received this invoice. Let me show you. Here. Okay. I have received this email with the moon, and of course I'm also the client inside the Invoice Ninja, but you can see, enter here, and you can see your invoice, and you can download and so on. So that you have finished now is that you have validated the invoice. And that's all for the demo. So this is the last step of the webinar. We have finished the demo. I hope that well, now is the period to question and answer. We can wait if you have any question. Let me summarize what we are seeing now here, that we have introduced the CloudSocket project. We have focused on the workflow engine. We have seen what are the functionalities that they have, what we want to cover in the next steps, and we can and you can see this short demo focusing in the execution environment. That allow us to identify a business process that we needed in order to increase our productivities for our company, to buy it, to deploy it automatically in the cloud, and to use it. It's up and running. You only need to enter and to use it following the steps that they indicated, and they allow us to integrate different systems, as this is the CRM with the invoice system, introducing roles and more validation, and allow to reduce the time that you need in order to manage the invoices. And that's all. I don't know if there is any question. Preguntas. Okay. How I can see this? I have here questions, but I don't know how I can see this. Okay. Okay. Is how do we map the business process node in the workspace? In the background line, changing database schema. Okay. Do you map the business process? Okay. No. Okay, if I understood well, okay, if I understood well, in this case, we have we identify at the end we have it the business process definition at the high level, that it is the definition of the business process, and we have the executable workflows. At this level, we need to identify the service tasks that should be mapped directly with a service and a method. And in this case, we are using external third parties repository in order to describe this. What it is clear that we can change. We have started to move between. Imagine that that we have defined this. The interface is the same, and we want to move one virtual machine to another. The interface will be the same. So at the end, we can do this without problems because, well, we need to change the endpoint, but we don't need to change the interface that we are using in order to call the service. Nevertheless, if you want to introduce new interfaces in this description, that's clear that we need to provide, that we are working also on this, we need to provide the adaptation between two chains. The original one to the another interface that you need not only the endpoint, you need also to change the data that you want to exchange and so on. So if you want only to change the endpoint and to move it, we can do it. It is described in the repository. If you want two services that are different. There are different interfaces, it's more complicated in this sense because you need to change the interface, you need to the adaptation between the both systems. I don't know if I answered your question. Okay, it's IoTS, Cordis Europe. I was to say this on the fly. This is why I am asking. Okay, so you can use it. It depends. I will need more information about this, but there are other projects that are also working on this direction in the sense that you can use these workflows to orchestrate experiments at the IoTs or combining different systems. So I think it is possible, but we will need exactly what are the requirements of the different services that you have it for the IoTs. What more? This one that I have problem to see. Sorry. Sorry, I cannot see very well this. Here. Now better, sorry. Okay. This is one. Okay, those are there are more questions. If not, we can finish the conference. Thank you very much to attending. Just only to commend you that you can follow us in the CloudSocket project and also in Twitter. So thank you for attending the webinar and see you in the next webinar. Thank you. Bye-bye.